Hello, worms and warlocks. My name is TV Skyen, and welcome back to the boss designs of Bloodborne. So last time some things happened, and the sky got all weird. I'm sure it's not my fault, though. Nothing is ever my fault. But things seem to have changed in a strange way after we killed Rom the vacuous spider, which was a totally justified killing. She provoked me by being a spider. Then the sky went all weird. Don't know what that's all about. Probably not my problem to think about it anyway, because I'm not Future Skyen. So I'm just gonna go and punch some things in the face with the bladed weapon, I think. And we do have a few options for where we might like to go. Because we have in our possession the Canehurst Summons, which tell us to go to Hemwick Crossing and take a carriage that takes us to Hemwick. That's an option. We could, well, technically we could probably explore the Chalice dungeons a bit more again at some point soon. And, of course, we can go to the hidden village of Yahargul and screw around there and see what maybe is a boss or a thing happening of get the baby to stop screaming in my head, which would be nice. So I guess we need to make a decision about that. I will say I am very curious. I'm very curious about that Canehurst Summons right now, but I'm also really curious about the Yahargul place. Actually... Wait, what? What do you mean unavailable? But that's in Yahargul, right? Like, that's also in the unseen... That's weird. Oh well. I'm curious about both things. So... Eeny, meeny, miny... Let's try and go to Canehurst. So, a carriage awaits at Hemwick Crossing. So I have to imagine that's somewhere near here. Oh, hello. Sup? I thought those would be gone after I killed the witches. Well, I'm not seeing... I don't think this is necessarily Hemwick Crossing. But it should be somewhere around here. Right here. This seems like a place for a carriage. Oh, no. God damn it! Okay. So not here, then. I guess I thought maybe it would be like a ghost carriage. Because this looked like a road that would lead somewhere. Oh, well. Any items down here that I missed? Secret paths to realms far distant? No, not so much. Then where the hell is Hemwick Crossing? Hi. Ow. I mean, the carriage is not going to be inside the house. That would be weird. And this is a very normal game. If I was a little carriage trying to take someone away to an eldritch place and do terrible things to them, where would I be? Oh, hell. So that leads up towards the mansion. Like, this is so clearly a crossing, though. I mean, come on. Is there a trigger I have to walk over to get the thing to spawn or something? That would be annoying. I don't think I even noticed this thing last time I was here. Oh! I think I found it. Did you put a fog machine in the carriage? Those horses look... Oh, they don't have any eyes. Those horses have the opposite of what having eyes is. And they don't look too healthy, all told. Like, what are they, covered in leather? Jesus. But yeah, even the horses have been made blind. As for the carriage itself, it's all spider webs, flaked off old paint, And yet, there's some heraldry on it. Some sort of small signs and signifiers that maybe this thing looked grand in its day, but it's been set in a barn for 30 years. And now this is what's left of it. Huh. That noise means we're heading to a tea party. Ooh, cold tea party. Big frozen castle. Oh, this is giving me flashbacks to Ilium Lois, or Ilium Lois, or whatever. Hello, Canehurst. Aw! The poor horses! That was fast! I take it you can't jump over there. Oh, ominous. Big place. I hope we don't have to explore all of it. Also hope that these statues don't try to kill me. Let's see. Here we have a classical king of a sort. Staff in hand for wisdom. Sumptuous clothing. Big bushy beard. Hand outstretched magnanimously. Classic king thing. Here we have what would look like a classic Madonna, as in a woman with child, which in Christian sculpture at least would usually indicate that it's Mary with the Christ child, especially since the Christ child here seems to be holding a golden sphere or apple or something along those lines. Probably no Christ in Bloodborne. They don't seem to worship that guy very much. So, I don't know if the statues have any significance. Probably the thing that'll be important for our purposes is that statues like these, having a statue garden at all, being able to do something like that, sign of wealth. It's a thing of, like, I can afford to pay a lot of people to sit around hitting rocks with a stick for a long time until statues happen. So, that's fancy. I'm a fancy lad, and you should think I'm rich and cool and wealthy. Okay, so that's a shortcut to get back here. I can hear the damn baby crying. Ever so slight. Oh, hey! I've seen you before. Mosquito-ass looking motherfuckers. Slash, 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 and black. You'd think they'd drop blood vials, but no. Same statues on the fountain. So presumably if I die, I'll respawn in Hemwick? Oh. Oh, I see. We have ourselves a little hierarchy here, do we? Oh, that one over there is real bloated. Jeez. And that one's a little bit more emaciated. The thing that gets me is they have hair on their heads, which is like a good sign that they used to be human, right? But there's items over there that I want, so... Oi, you! Well... Yeah, that jumping claw attack is real annoying. Oh, hey. There was a lantern. Apparently didn't need it, but...
Welcome. What is it? Very well. Let me...
Yeah. Echoes become my strength. Speaking of which, presumably there's a soft cap on the stats the same way that there is in all the other Souls games. The question is whether is that where that cap is, because it feels like probably 40 like it is in the rest of them, but I don't actually know that. We try this again. Oh no! So you've been feeding well. Can I, Ew. You don't even give more blood echoes. And of course, they all have pale blood echoes. Except that one, which is Numbing Mist. Okay, so Numbing Mist is the one that prevents healing. And I have found it here. Which is the kind of thing that sometimes indicates that there's an enemy here who can heal, and that you may want to stop them from doing that. So is that going to be like the beasts, like these little bloodsuckers? Because they can feed on corpses or whatever? Yeah, Numbing Mist. Might need to equip that for something then. Anyway. Hey, there's that king again. And his lovely lady wife, albeit without the baby. And presumably his queen, I imagine. The floor is spotless, I'll give them that. They might not be pleased with me stepping on it, though. Hi. If I don't have to kill them... Hey! Okay. Their throats are all slit. Hi. Why is your throat slit? Reiterpalast. Ah, yes, this is a Reiterpalast, yeah. The palace of the Reiter. Yeah, I have the Reiterpalast. What is the Reiterpalast? How does it work? It's a weapon wielded by the Knights of Kenhurst. It combines an elegant knight's sword with a peculiar firearm wielded by the Kenhurst Order. The old nobles, long-time imbibers of blood, are no strangers to the sanguine plague, and the disposal of beasts was a discreet task left to their servants, or knights as they were called for sake of appearances. So that's like a gun and then also a sword, huh? Okay. Are we done with ghosts? Yeah, sorry, ladies. Hope you have fewer ghosts troubling you now. Oh, hi. So the thing I'm marking here is that there's the ghosts of dead women here. Brutalized women. Like, these women didn't die of natural causes. They have slit throats. Oh, it's not the servants who were crying. It was the ghosts. The servants are just servants. Right, it wasn't their voices. I'm a fool. So, presumably more ghosts in here. And more statues. Okay, now I'm convinced that the statues mean something, because they've got statues on the floor, they've got statues standing in the corner, they've got statues all over the frickin' dining table. And there's these portraits. We'll deal with those once this place is ghost-busted. Hey, can I parry you? Yeah! Oh, noble dress. A finely tailored Bordeaux dress, worn by the nobles of the old bloodline that traces back to the Forsaken Castle Kings. I'm not gonna lie, there's something about this that's weirdly rad. Now, these portraits. I mean, all these people are vampires, clearly. Like, that's vampires. That's just vampires all the way down. Not because they drink blood, but because they are members of the upper-class nobility and therefore parasites. There's the woman. Okay, so there's the queen with the child. So where's the king with the beard? Would that be that guy? There's a few dudes with beards around. That guy. That guy. That guy could probably grow a full beard if he wanted to. Interesting. I had a feeling. That's the other point of having the statues, huh? To try and get the gargoyle to be a surprise. Talking of vampires, by the way, look at this guy. Captain Batwing's Orlok-looking motherfucker. I was just kidding, but, like, they already said that the old nobles are longtime imbibers of blood. So, no, actually, I think I'm right. These are vampires. Like, that's... At least that's the imagery they're playing with. Is they're going real hard on the Dracula imagery here. Oh, we're on you, Spoopy. With your echolocation beam. More gargoyles. Or not gargoyles. So, as I've talked about on the boss design series many times before. Oh, hello, Medusa. Or a Gorgon, perhaps. Gargoyles are sort of a genericized term for something which is not gargoyles. Specifically, a gargoyle refers to a water spout, a thing that's put on a building to direct water away from the sides and thus prevent erosion of the building. And the way they worked, I see, you can be fast. And the way that they worked is basically, like, that's where the word gargoyle comes from. It comes from the French gargoyle, or gargouille, something along those lines, which means to gargle. Because the water comes out of the mouth of the gargoyle, so they're gargling water. That's what a gargoyle is, but it's kind of been genericized to mean any grotesque. That's what this is. This is a grotesque. So called because it looks grotesque, and its function, religiously possibly, was to, say, ward away evil spirits or be an example of the demons of hell for the faithful, to scare them out of doing sins. They'd often be found on the sides of churches. But a grotesque... A gargoyle is a kind of grotesque, but not all grotesques are gargoyles. Yeah, this place has a thing for statues, doesn't it? Executioner's garb. Did not come with a hat. Attire that looks familiar. Worn by the band of executioners commanded by Martyr Logarius. Oh, so that would be one of Logarius' people, huh? Later became the basis for all church attire with its heavy draping of the holy shawl. That's why it looks like what Alfred wears. As the great Logarius once said, acts of goodness are not always wise, and acts of evil are not always foolish, but regardless, we shall always strive to be good. Seems cool. The brass rivets are unique to the executioners and reflect their adoration of hand-to-hand combat. Good poison resistance. Not so much in frenzy, but... And I do remember that Alfred said that one of the things that he wanted to do was go to Canehurst and kill the... who lives there because of her. because of some reasons. Not my problem. I don't have to figure it out. I'm not Future's guy. I don't have to know things. So that was either Master Logarius' body or one of his cohort, I guess. But given that their clothes became the basis for all church attire, that seems like... must have been a while ago. Okay. Trying ghost ladies. And shortcut. Whee! Sorry to wake you.
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it? Very well, let me...
I need 1 blood tinge, please. So that we may try... Reiterpalas, ja! Ach ja, it's ein sword! Mit which I shall stab them, ja! Ooh, swipe, and then... big stab. And then... it's still... okay, it's a sword that shoots guns. Okay. So... okay. Huh. Fascinating. Okay, probably not a weapon I'm gonna use. But fun to have. Hello again. They really do like these sculptures and statues. Anyway. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, what the dick? I got hit with something, and whatever that is, it's clearly a curse of some kind. It was you, wasn't it? Okay, so it makes them angry. It pisses off the ghosts. That's what it does. It just makes them real mad at me. God, it's gorgeous. If it wasn't full of ghosts and hell beasts that want me dead. I'd love to take some Instagram photos in here. Oh man, look at that ceiling. Oh, that's gorgeous. Like, this really is very pretty. Okay, this seems like a trap of some kind. Okay, so that would let me get the item hanging there. So... oh, that was worth it. 6 whole bullets. Right then. Where does that take me? Back down to the ground level. Oh, not quite. This is a different place. Because it's full of ghosts again, unless they respawn. Oh, wow. One of the secret treasures hidden in Canehurst, the gloves of an executioner from a faraway land. Passed from executioner father to executioner son. Aw, tradition! These gloves can be used to summon wrathful spirits of the past by smearing them with blood. It is said that the nobles found immeasurable delight in the dances of these vengeful specters. Summoning ghosts and specters, huh? More vampire stuff. Knights got... Oh, that looks fancy! Attire of the Knights of Canehurst, a regal piece graced by intricate goldwork. The Canehurst way is a mix of nostalgia and bombast. They take great pride even in the blood-stained corpses of beasts that they leave behind, confident that they will stand as examples of decadent art. Yeah, look at me, I'm a fancy motherfricker! Oh, cheerio, darling, I shall go to the ball and find myself a suitor and kill him for his money. Right, this way now, I guess. Up the thing. Okay, we can go in here, and there's a ladder. Oh, I see. But what if we go over here? Kin cold blood, nice. Aha, I should have known. Who'll deliver? And more numbing mist. Again, like, if it's vampires here, surely the numbing mist will play into something somewhere. I bet I'll need it for the boss fight. Like, it's gonna be some Lady Carmilla-ass thing with a lady in, like, a sea of blood, and she drinks it to replenish herself, like the mosquitoes that we run into at the start.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night.
It's gonna be some Lady of Blood thing. Like, cause, like, when you have someone like Carmilla and the legend of her, and you have a game like Bloodborne, like, match made in, well, I hesitate to say heaven, but a warm blood gemstone. We ascend. Oh, now hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I remember big flat open rooftops from Souls games. Not my first rodeo on one of these. Alright, what's it gonna be? No? Just the one? Except he seems angrier than the other ones? Okay. Red glowing eyes bad. But this does look a bit of a dead end. Unless I can... We're Assassin's Creeding all over this thing. Oh, okay, alright. Ah, no. No. Really wouldn't mind a lantern.
I give my life, not for honor, but for you.
Okay. My boss senses were tingling mildly before. But now, bold hunter's mark. Ominous, like, moon in the sky. Ominous path leading up to a portal. This rather looks like... Oh my god, if I die, it's gonna be a million years to get back here. Oh no. Okay, well. So now I either charge on ahead like an idiot and hope that I get a one-shot, or I chicken out and go use my blood echoes.
Very well.
Okay. All right, back to the climb. All right. Okay, not an instant boss fight then. Okay, I can run over that. Okay, well, all right. There you are. I recognize you from your statues. Oh, no. No, I did not find the... Oh, well, I kind of did. Okay, interesting. Martyr Logarius, are you? Ooh, ominous Latin chanting. I'd appreciate it if you didn't. But okay, he's telling me that I can't, avoid dealing with him. Oh, that goes through walls. Okay. There is no cover. Right then. And he has a close range blast. I see. I see. Oh, he can shoot that straight down. So, bit of a necromancer here. Lots of commanding the spirits of the dead to be jerks to me. You wouldn't happen to have a phase 2, would you? Because I notice you're not using that sword much. He also doesn't seem to be healing yet, so that's something. Okay, probably should not be near him. Okay, so the gun can actually stagger him out of doing his things. Albeit it could do a better job at it. Yeah, I figured. Oh, I got a stagger on him. Doesn't matter, I got another one. Okay, he can do that quick now. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Those are blocked by the... Okay, cool. Appreciate it if you didn't, mate. He can fly? Where is he? There he is. Okay, time to man mode it. Whoa! Dodge when I tell you to! All right, asshole. Do your little magic tricks. Okay, admittedly, they're good magic tricks. They hurt a lot. I'll grant you. Oh, come the f on! That's actually extremely annoying. You'd think having him in a corner would be a good thing, but no. It's actually a problem. Because it means you can't get around him. And so long as you're in front of him, he can do that goddamn explodey skull thing and blast you. Ah, shit. Right. How the hell did that miss? Okay, lightning doesn't seem to do any better damage to him. Maybe fire would. You are very annoying. Okay. That's a stab, fair enough. That's also a stab. My bullets are flying like... Does he have some kind of anti-bullet aura? Is that what's going on here? Stop that. Oh, how did that hit me? You flew over me. Again with the bullets not hitting. Not that it matters. Two-shot. Martyr Logarius, huh? Alfred did say that he wanted to come here and, well, collect his body. I guess I've made that impossible. One of the precious secrets of Canehurst, the old king's crown, is said to reveal illusions and expose a mirage that hides a secret. And so Logarius donned the crown of his own volition, oh dear, determined to prevent a single soul from stumbling upon the vile secret. What visions did he see, sitting serenely upon his new throne? Well, isn't that a question? I mean, I already look fancy as f, right? Like, I already look incredibly cool. I just, like, if I just, like, the coolest person, nobody would bully me for looking like that. I do not look like a nerd in any way, shape, or form. But I'm gonna look even cooler now, because I'm gonna put on the coolest hat. Yeah! And that's gonna something illusions. It's gonna do a thing and do some illusion stuff. Yeah, like that. That is a pretty substantial illusion. I recognize you! You were the protagonist of Dark Souls! If one of you guys tries to stab me, I'll be rather upset. Something the game has done really effectively, by the way, with that goddamn baby crying, is that right now I feel constantly like, oh wait, was that the baby crying? Like, I feel like I constantly hear it right on the edge of my hearing, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm imagining it. Which, like, is a good way to get in your head about it. Goddamn baby crying. There's someone on that throne over there. Yeah.
Visitor,
I just gained insight.
I claim no subject, but here lieth our throne. Kneel afore us, or get thee gone.
I claim no subjects, you say. No subjects indeed. And yet you have a bit of a court in front of you, lady. Ooh, item. Just gonna steal from her. Unopened summons. An old sealed summons. Like the first of its kind, it is an invitation to Canehurst. But for whom, it is not known, as it lacks an addressee. Could I give that to Alfred? Let him come here? Because, I don't know, would that drive him mad as well? Nice mask. Excuse me. Oh yeah, there's the baby cry. Goddamn baby cry. Relatively simple clothes for a queen, and then this iron mask, which I can't help but wonder. Reeks of false god? Yeah, I mean, if you look at that right there, in front of the throne, beside her, a huge pool of blood. And, like, there's just blood and blood and blood. Like, someone got killed here and then dragged along the carpet. Like, that's what it looks like.
Visitor. Moon-scented hunter. I am Annalise, Queen of Castle Canehurst.
Lovely place.
Ruler of the Vile Bloods. And sworn enemy of the Church. Yet, our people are murdered. And we are prisoner to this wretched mask. What is it thou art in search of?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'll do that. I was kind of hoping you'd tell me some stuff. Say some secrets. I will say, I'm not that fond of the church. It's like, the church is bad. It's not a good thing. Because jerks summon elder gods, do the thing. But, vile bloods, though. Well, okay. I guess we can come back and, like, ruthlessly murder her later for no reason. For the moment, I will leave her be. That was Martyr Logarius, ancient martyr of the Healing Church, and someone who Alfred had a lot of admiration for. I really do look fly in this outfit. Who apparently donned the crown of illusions of his own volition to protect the secrets of Canehurst. What was he trying to stop us from finding, I wonder? Well, not really my problem anyway, because this is a problem for Future Sky. I'm just gonna go back and wear a fancy crown and beat up some illusions, I guess. That's what I do. So, over to you, Future Sky. Well, thank you very much, Paskyne. You go and do that. You might run into a friend. So, Canehurst and the Vile Bloods, Logarius and the Executioners, and at the heart of the place, a queen hidden by illusion. So I suppose the character to look at first is Canehurst itself, because traveling there by ghostly horse carriage is also to travel in time. Most of Yharnam is based on a melange of Victorian Edwardian aesthetics, all imperial pomp and decadence, but Canehurst is a thoroughly more medieval place. First of all, because it's a bloody great fortified castle on a mountain, but its construction and aesthetics also draw much more heavily on Gothic influences and aesthetics. It's a thoroughly older place. Like everything else in Bloodborne, it is in some disrepair and sometimes crumbling, but between its grand courtyard, enormous entrance halls, sumptuous dining room, and astounding library, this is obviously a seat of power, wealth, and influence. This is a place with a long and important history. Or at least, it's the residence of people who will tell you that this is a place with a long and important history. All those family portraits on the walls. All those statues. Now, for most of history, the, air quotes, fine arts were the exclusive preserve of the rich. A portrait that takes 40 hours to complete is an expensive thing to order. Even more so, a fine statue that demands the dedicated labor of a sculptor and a team of assistants. Michelangelo's David here, for example, took a full 2 years to complete. Bernini's Ecstasy of St. Teresa took 5. As we pass through Canehurst, the place is drowning in sculpture. Not just the uncountable number of statues scattered about the place, but carved into the walls and doors themselves. The expense and labor required for all of this is, well, I don't know the economics of the world of Bloodborne, but it would cost a lot. And so, to me, it's no surprise that Canehurst is full of servants. We meet them scrubbing the floors to a mirror shine in the entrance hall and cowering in fear when we interrupt their work. They patrol the halls and libraries too, and use magic to manipulate the ghosts. Which is probably the next thing to talk about, the ghosts, and the question of who killed them. Because there is an obvious answer. It must have been Logarius and his crew of executioners who stormed the castle intending to destroy the Vile Bloods. Except these women and they are all women, or at least female-presenting people, their hands are bound. They have been carefully blindfolded, and their throats have been slit in a single surgical slice. Now, at the risk of minor spoilers, in the next episode, we get to see what a church execution of a vile blood looks like, and it is not this gentle. Logarius' weapon before his residence at Canehurst was a bludgeoning wagon wheel used to crush and destroy, which makes sense. Logarius and his executioners are religious fanatics, killers in a holy war. They are here to obliterate a hated enemy, to stamp out a monstrous heresy. Why go to all the trouble of taking their enemies alive, tying them up and blindfolding them and killing them so, I hesitate to say, gently? But if Logarius and the executioners are not the killers of all of these ghosts, then who? This is Countess Elizabeth Bathory, the Exit of Hungary. Sorry if I mispronounced that, I'm sure I did. If you're a history buff, you may recognize the name. Real historical figure, this one. And she may have been one of the most prolific serial killers in history. The exact details are hard to confirm, with one sensational account claiming that she was responsible for as many as 650 killings, and others putting her body count at a more reasonable couple of hundred. Bathory began her killing in 1590, murdering the daughters of minor gentry who had been sent to Bathory's household to receive courtly education, and all of Bathory's victims would be women. As the scale of her murder began to be known when she was arrested in 1610, stories naturally started to be told. Most famously, a rumor sprang up that the reason she had killed so many was so that she could drain their bodies and bathe in their virgin's blood to reverse the course of mortality and live forever. It might not surprise you to learn that Elizabeth Bathory is often cited as an inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Speaking of which, the first enemies we encounter in Canehurst are bloodsuckers, gorging themselves on corpses. On the rooftops, we fight bat-like, screaming ghouls, and also the place is a spooky old gothic castle on top of a mountain. The game is all but begging us to think in terms of vampire tropes. And just in case it wasn't explicit enough, the description of the Reiterpalast tells us straight up that the nobles of Canehurst are longtime imbibers of blood. And whose blood? This blood. If you want to exsanguinate a person, drain their bodies of blood, this is the kind of cut that you make. Animals are sometimes slaughtered this way. Hence the blindfold. Hence the binding of the hands to hold them still while the draining is being done. And wouldn't you know it, at the top of the hierarchy of the bloodsuckers of Canehurst sits an undying queen of blood. To hear Alfred tell it, the Vile Bloods were founded when a fellow at Byrgenwerth betrayed his companions and brought impure blood to Canehurst, blood practices that would threaten the purity of the church's blood healing. Logarius and his executioners stormed the place to put that heresy to rest. But then Logarius had some kind of a change of heart, put on the crown of his own volition, and took up guardianship of the castle. One way to interpret that is that he realized that Annalise cannot be killed and he's attempting to imprison her. Another way of looking at it, well, consider the character design. The crown, the staff, and the sword. These are the vestments of a king, the symbols of his office, and he has planted his throne at the apparent top of the castle, as though declaring, "This is my domain. I rule here. I am the lord. I am the king. There is no queen here." As though he's not trying to imprison her, and if he is, he's doing a terrible job, because clearly she found a way to get that Canehurst summons out to us, but to hide her, to maintain a certain illusion. So what's the big secret he's trying to hide? Well, proceeding logically from what we know, Logarius came to Cainhurst to slay the vile bloods and destroy their impure blood. He was motivated by the important truth that the Cainhurst blood is impure, a threat to the church, that only the church's blood healing is pure, that only it is good. So what kind of secret could Logarius have found that would cause him to throw down the wheel with which he massacred the vile bloods and take up the staff and sword instead? Well, the most shattering thing to someone who's crusading for the truth is to learn that they are crusading for a lie. So my read on this, going by what we know, is that the blood healing of the church and the blood consumption of the vile bloods aren't what we have been led to believe. We have seen the blood ministrations of the church turn people into beasts. We have seen this at the heart of the church. The cleric beast, Gascoigne, Vicar Amelia. We have seen Yharnam overrun with half-beasts and the semi-transformed. If that's what pure blood does to people, then how is Annalise still human, or, well, as human as she is? The queen who has drunk deeper and longer than anyone of the impure strain. How has she not turned beastly and mad? I think that was what Logarius found, that the heretical vile blood was not so heretical, that perhaps it was the better antidote to the beast plague, that perhaps the impure strain of blood was the one at the heart of his church, and that his holy war had been nothing but a cover-up. That's just speculation, though. Bloodborne is as vague as Souls games get. They invite us to draw our own conclusions, come up with our own theories, and this, right now, is mine. Anyway, to turn to the visual design of our actual subject, we've discussed the crown, staff, and sword. Logarius has dressed himself up like a king, and in fact, with his desiccated form and wild hair, he reminds me quite a lot of both Gwyn and Vendrick. But one thing I do note is, remember the horses that took us to Cainhurst? Remember how they too were dry and leathery and had no eyes? Yeah. The lack of eyes, by the way, especially in the context of a king, sort of inevitably makes me think of Oedipus Rex, who tore his own eyes out when he realized a horrible truth he couldn't live with. It also plays with the whole Bloodborne thing about eyes and insight. I mean, we gained insight merely from walking into the room with Annalise. Maybe for Logarius, after all the killing, the insight just became too much to bear? Hard to say. Logarius is not a skeleton, by the way. He has skin, he has muscle, but he is dry. It's probably just from the aging and sitting out in the snowstorm forever, but I mean, if the shattering thing he realized was that the blood of his church was not pure, the guy was literally crusading over a matter of blood, so I can't help but think it has some symbolic meaning when we find him literally bloodless. It would be a self-destructive thing to deny himself both the church blood that had kept him going, but clearly also the blood of the vile bloods. But, as he was fond of saying, acts of good are not always wise. Perhaps in the games of blood that run throughout the veins of Bloodborne, the only winning move is not to play. Hey, thank you very much for watching. Bloodborne is back, finally. I only really intended to take maybe a month off from doing Bloodborne videos, but, you know, one thing led to another, this thing got in the way of the other thing, and here we are. Anyway, one more episode needs to be edited, and then we can stream the gameplay again. If you want to watch me edit the episodes, though, sometimes I do that on stream over on my second channel, which is also where you can find all of the unedited footage that goes into these episodes. You know, if you want to see all the pratfalls I edit out to make myself look good. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, like, comment, subscribe, and so on. Maybe hit the bell icon. The YouTube algorithm requires me to ask you to feed it for me. One way that you can feed it, by the way, is if you got to this point in the episode, like if you watched it the whole way through, if you leave a comment, put a knife emoji in it. No, wait, maybe not a knife emoji. Maybe YouTube will think that's aggressive. A clown emoji. Yeah, a clown emoji. That'll fit me better. You can do that if you want to. That's a little engagement thing that YouTubers sometimes can do to make more people leave comments. That's the manipulation I'm doing right now. Right, if you feel like you want to support the show and this channel more directly, then I have a Patreon, a merchandise store, and a tip jar for one-time donations, if you feel like it. If you're not in a position to be able to do that, or if you just don't want to, please don't worry about it. It is completely okay. On that subject, I would like to welcome the following people who have joined my Patreon in the last 2 months. Natalie Anderson, Azazel, Mahu Stars, Giovanni M., Abdallah Saeed, Joey Schmo, Timothy Eggins, Lucas, Matthias Nimis, Nicole Shield, Variasis, Sam, Wes Fletcher, Michael Stair Jr., don't know if there's any relation, Ephraim Kurt, Alex Akopian, John Warner, Julian Rodriguez, Lester Reed, Nehru, Sean Boyce, Agender Gorgon, Smike, Dylan Mason, Emilia Clichit, Aiden Wayman, and Convulse. Thank you all very much for your support. You're a big part of the reason I can pay my rent. Anyway, subscribe to my Let's Play channel if you want to. If you're interested in some short-form content, I have a Shorts channel now where I post hot takes like this one. Say hello to the cast of Love Live, or some of them anyway. I understand there's a lot of them. These are all ostensibly different people, but if you look closer, what you start to notice is that besides minor differences in height and bust size, they are all of them functionally physically identical to one another. They are primarily distinguished by costume, that is their clothes, hairstyle, color, and maybe a minor difference in eye shape. Same face shapes, same jawline, same lips, same cheekbones, same noses, same necks, same eyebrows, same thin arms, same body shape, same long legs, same thighs. The result is that if you take these characters and swap the costumes, hair, and accessories around, they become functionally indistinguishable from the originals. This reveals the design priority for the franchise. These characters are dress-up dolls who exist not to embody a character, but to model different costumes and anime girl archetypes. And this makes perfect sense, because Love Live is a gacha game about collecting JPEGs of pretty anime girls, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it leads to, in my opinion, uninteresting and shallow character design. Staying in anime, compare and contrast with the main cast of Princess Jellyfish, who all have very distinct costumes, but whose character designs also take advantage of body type, bone structure, and face construction to create characters where you can swap the costumes around all you want. They will always be recognizable as themselves, and that makes for much stronger and more interesting character design, I think. And that's the last of the self-promotion. Thank you very much for watching. Please wear a mask and wash your hands, take the vaccine when it comes, and try to act with solidarity towards those who are working to make the world a better place.